Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the 143. We're here with you live with episode 184. Nick, how are we doing tonight?
We're doing good, bringing back some NFL content. It has been a few weeks, but we are still just itching to get back into the swing of things. You know, sooner or later, week one's going to be upon us. It's going to take us by surprise, but we've been sitting here patiently waiting, eager for the NFL to kick back off.
Yeah, we are less than 2 months away at this point and looking forward to it. So we're just going to focus on another division. We, about a month ago, maybe longer, talked about the AFC North. So this week we're bringing you the NFC North. Just going to go into a little bit of depth about that. Another division that's going to be pretty tight, a lot of talent. So we're just going to talk about that and the battles that each team is going to be facing here. Stat of the week brought to you this week by Andrews Logistics. The odds to win the division, the NFC North this year, we've got number 1, Detroit. Number 2, not Minnesota like you would think, Green Bay actually. Minnesota at 3 and Chicago at 4. So Detroit, the favorites, but not by much over Green Bay. And then it's pretty tight for the whole division odds-wise. So I just thought that was interesting. Keep in mind as we're talking about it, kind of what the expectations are for this year.
Player of the week is going to be Jared Goff. He's been, I would say, the most consistent of the quarterbacks that you have in the NFC North right now. He's been playing some good football in Detroit. Threw for 4,629 passing yards last year, 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He's been playing some good football up there in Detroit. Obviously expected to lead them to another division win over everybody else. It's going to be a tight race. It's going to be a good one to watch out for. So, just stay tuned for the NFC North.
Yeah, getting into it, a lot of changes. I guess not a lot of changes, but some big changes for Detroit is they lost their top coordinators. They lost their defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn left to be head coaches other places. Ben Johnson staying in division, going to Chicago with their head coach. That'll be interesting to see. But I think Detroit promoted from within. I don't know the names of their new coordinators, but they did not hire from the outside. So it'll be interesting to see if Detroit's offense – now, their defense could definitely be a whole lot better than last year, just injuries and everything. But their offense was just one of the best offenses last year. We'll see if they're able to replicate that or if it being a new system or how similar the system is going to hurt them at all. But in the end, Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, just all their top guys are still there. They really didn't lose anybody. So,
yeah, that's one thing I think everyone will be looking out for is the offense, just because under Ben Johnson's rule, the trickery and all the elaborate plays that they drew up and schemed up, we'll see how that plays out in the future. Obviously, they've got the talent and the weapons there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like it's going to be that huge of a difference, but we'll just be excited to see what the brand of the offensive scheme is. The Packers are gotta be there, sneaking in there at number 2. We've been very open about how we feel about the Packers and Jordan Love. I just think there's a lot of room for growth there, which is to say that we don't think he's as good as everyone's making him out to be.
Yeah, I think he's pretty average.
Just haven't seen it. Obviously, you can call us sour Cowboys fans if you want, when they absolutely annihilated us at home in the playoffs. But, that's neither here nor there.
I think
just haven't seen it.
They haven't had a bona fide number 1 receiver. That's been a problem for them.
Yeah, the issue is all their receivers would be the wide receiver 3 on any other given team.
Yeah, and so they drafted a wide receiver in the first round, and Matthew Golden from Texas, great receiver. I think he fits in a lot like the rest of them, though. I don't think they got like an outside guy that's dominating that, he's got great speed. And then the other thing, so they don't have a wide receiver 1. And then the other thing is they lost Jair Williams on the outside. Or sorry, Jair Alexander, not Williams. Their top cornerback. And I could not name you a single secondary player that they have. I think their secondary right now, the way it's looking, just unless some guys step up, just isn't looking great. And in that division they're in with those offensive-minded gurus they've got going against them, it's going to be tough for them to compete, in my opinion.
Yeah, Matthew Golden, good pick, but it's not going to be huge splash to where it's going to make that big of a difference. Everyone's going to be looking at the defense just because of all the changes that they have there. Obviously, losing a top corner, that's kind of a big deal, and just seeing how they're going to be able to adjust from that. Minnesota, some changes there at the quarterback position. Yeah. We will see the debut of J.J. McCarthy. He was expected to play last year, but he did not end up playing due to injury. And so the reins were given to Sam Darnold, who actually was pretty nasty for the entire season last year. Was just, I mean, he was kind of just a plug-in guy, was able to mesh the offense really well together, was distributing the ball, and was playing for a good bit there. He was honestly playing MVP caliber football. Not saying he was an amazing quarterback, but there towards the beginning, like the first 8 weeks, he was looking like the best quarterback in the league, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, no more Sam Darnold, so we're going to see if J.J. McCarthy is it. I don't think he is. He can feel free to prove me wrong.
He does have Kevin O'Connell as a head coach, and honestly, I didn't think Sam Darnold had it anymore. And I think Kevin O'Connell brought out the best in Sam Darnold. I think he could, if anyone can do it, it's Kevin O'Connell. And also it just helps that the fact you're throwing a Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, you're throwing a TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones is the running back. They've got so many weapons on offense that it's we've talked about this with J.J. McCarthy before. It's just got to be you can't be the reason they lose games, which is kind of what it was for Sam Darnold. I think so. Just as long as J.J. McCarthy is just distributing, that's all he's got to do is just distribute the ball. He doesn't have to be Superman. For that team, their defense is great with their defensive coordinator over there, Flores. There's running. They had one of the top defenses last year. I think they continue to have that this year. So yeah, I think. But the biggest, most important position on the field is quarterback. They have a huge question mark there right now. That's just why that's going to determine how they are. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to overcome how good Detroit is.
Just didn't see enough in college from J.J. McCarthy to let me know, oh, yeah, this guy's going to be a stud in the NFL.
He just handed the ball off a lot.
Just didn't see it. Obviously, he's in a very, very good situation where he's got a lot of weapons offensively, got a good head coach, and then has a good defense. So he's kind of in one of the best positions possible, but you just can't be the reason that they lose games. You just got to play just good enough. Chicago Bears.
Yeah, Chicago.
Y'all know how I feel about Chicago. We've been preaching it a little bit for here on the review, just the way we feel. Excited to see Ben Johnson take over as a head coach.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's really all we're looking forward to. We'll see what happens with Caleb Williams. I believe that was a huge part of the reason why Ben Johnson wanted to go over there.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like he felt like he could probably implement an offensive scheme that would be a lot different than what they had running in Detroit, and maybe he thinks he'll have more options with what he can do with a more mobile quarterback than Jared Goff. So, hey, they could come out and wow everybody.
I'll give them a lot of credit this offseason. They went in, got O-linemen. They got Joe Tooney. They got Jonah Jackson. They kind of short up that offensive line, which was a huge problem last year. Caleb Williams coming into his second year. Wasn't super impressive year one. We'll see what kind of strides he can make under Ben Johnson. They drafted Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. They've got Cole Kmet, they've got serious weapons on offense, and they've got a better O-line. Again, question mark at quarterback. And then head coach, you're just going to see Ben Johnson's not used to being the guy that's got to do the clock management, that's got to do, even have a part on defense. I mean, he's been the offensive coordinator in Detroit for a while, but I assume he'll be the one calling the plays still in Chicago and for their offense. I think this makes Chicago a lot better. Like they'll be able to compete against some teams. Like last year, watching Chicago was just absolutely terrible. Even though they had all the great offensive weapons, they couldn't protect their quarterback, and when they did, their quarterback made awful decisions, which is something that we called coming out of college. No one's ever really gotten on to Caleb Williams for anything he's ever done. So, I think that doesn't help when you're not actually being coached. Like, I don't think Lincoln Riley really coached him as much as just like gave him a pat on the head every time he did something crazy against awful Pac-12 defenses. But Caleb's he's going to have to learn a lot if they're going to be contending at all. Do I think they win this division or even get second? No. They might be fighting for that third place spot.
No, absolutely not. Just a whole new list of things that you're going to have to deal with. Obviously, excited to see Ben Johnson, but he has never been in this position where he is the head guy. He's the number one. He's got to make all the big decisions. He's been, I guess, in his little offensive bubble, putting that in air quotes, to where that's his only deal he's got to worry about. But now it's like you worry about that, and then you've got 14,000 other things that you got to deal with. They've got the weapons there.
Yeah, they do.
They've got some protection for their quarterback. Sacks was a huge deal last year, and then, their defense is not very good. I would say at best.
Yeah, I don't know about their defense.
I don't think they'll be contending for the division quite yet. I do think this could be a step in the right direction to maybe revamp the Chicago Bears. Do I think they're going to be good right now? No, I don't think so, but I do think they could be good in a few more seasons if they can continue to make the right moves, and if the moves that they're making right now end up paying off.
We've got a lot of respect on this show for Ben Johnson. That's the only reason we're giving the Bears any credit right now for the most part. If you heard the way we talked about him for the last few years, you know that we don't really respect the Bears very much. But Ben Johnson is a good coach, and I think if anybody can turn that the Bears have been awful for a while, and if anybody can turn that around, it's going to be him. I think I'm looking at just like the whole division. I think obviously Detroit has the best shot to win it, but if J.J. McCarthy can be the guy for Minnesota, I think Minnesota is the most complete team if he can be a decent quarterback. Kind of like last year, I thought just defensively, I think they've got the best defense in the division because of Flores and the guys they have over there. So it's just going to come down to, can J.J. McCarthy be a good NFL quarterback or not? And I don't think me or Nick saw it in college, but we are not scouts by any means. He had a really good running back, and they handed the ball off a lot.
It's not like Sam Darnold had insane quarterback talent last year, or just in his NFL tenure in general. He was just playing good football. I don't know what it was. He was taking what was given to him.
I think it was making
O'Connell. Good decisions, and that's what we're about to find out in this upcoming season.
Because he made Kirk Cousins look really good too. If we're going to talk about it. So
I do think Minnesota is the most complete team. I do think you're right there. I do think you're right about them having the best defense in the division, but it's just, what's their quarterback situation going to pan out to be?
But which team's got the most confidence? It's 100% Detroit right now, and they should. So we'll see. We'll definitely see.
But here's like to end our shows in under review. Brought to you a quote from the Lou Holtz, and he said, "If what you did yesterday seems big, you haven't done anything today."
Ain't that the truth? One day at a time. Just like we're slowly taking it one day at a time until we get to football season. But we will keep bringing you episodes like we always do, and we'll see you next week with another episode of Under Review.